Hello, it's Jimmy. Today I want to talk a little bit about having options. It's not always about the money on this journey, it's more about creating options and streamlining. When I got on the path to financial independence, that wasn't the original intent. It was a byproduct of all of the work that I was doing, mainly to get out of debt. And then I realized pretty quickly that that was going to go much faster than I had planned, and started to realize that a lot of options were going to open up rather quickly. I saw some opportunities to do some things that I wanted to do, but it was always a matter of, well, maybe someday when I have the money, I'll do it. Well, that day came, the money was there. So now I had to decide, are these the things that I really want to do or items I wanted to buy? Sometimes you daydream about the question, if money was no object, what would you do? For me, it was easy because, well, I had an upper limit. It's not like I had an endless supply of money, but I had money to do a lot of fun things. And the things I wanted to do really didn't cost a lot of money. So now I have to look at things through the lens of opportunity costs. If I do one thing, I'm not going to be able to do the other. Or what are the long-term implications of choosing one item over another? Because I'm able to do different things that I want to do, it doesn't mean I can do them all. So there's still choices to be made. Setting goals early on was important for a couple of reasons. One, it gave me something to work towards instead of just amassing a pile of cash. That could be very dangerous, like walking around with a glass of gasoline in one hand and a lit cigar in the other. A fool and his money will soon part ways. Having those goals were a good milepost to work towards. And secondly, the goals I could compare against each other, looking at those opportunity costs. They were something to evaluate, being able to reprioritize or abandon a goal. Sometimes you set a goal early and, yeah, okay, I want to work towards this. And then things change in life and you're like, yeah, that doesn't appeal to me as much. It's completely fine to abandon certain goals if they don't meet your desires. I have no problem with that. And I could also create new goals. Just having that process, it was helpful for me to frame my choices. And when weighing opportunity cost, it isn't always like if you choose X, you have to abandon Y. It is simply looking at, if I do X now, Y might suffer now. Maybe I can pick up that Y goal later, accomplish that down the road after X is completed, whatever that happens to be. Or again, going back and saying, you know what? I don't have to do Y at all. Maybe when you look at the choices and the opportunity costs, that's just not something you want to do anymore. So we've done that a few times. I think it's a good logical exercise to work through. Neither my wife nor I are working full time right now. I do have a little part-time gig, but it's fun. It's less than 20 hours a week. But because we chose not to pursue full-time work, when our careers kind of ended this year, that was a choice. That was an opportunity cost. So one of the things we miss out on now is having access to tax-favored retirement savings, such as 401ks, 403bs, and employer match. That's something that we had to factor in when we said, yeah, we don't have to work right now, but by not doing that, we are going to miss out on some of these other things. We wouldn't have been able to even think through those choices if we had not rid ourselves of all debt and had cash available. That was very important. And for the last few months, we've been taking this time to relax and evaluate life and really letting go of that kind of grind mentality that came with the regular corporate work we did for 20 years. And I don't mean to belittle people that really grind in a positive way and they're improving themselves and they are excellent at their jobs and they feel like a contributor. That's great. That's very different though than what my wife and I experienced. it was just time to move on from that. But there was like a sense of busyness that we always had. And it has really taken some time to kind of let go of that. There's quite an appreciation, I think, in our culture to expect that you're just going to be busy all the time and, oh, I got to go and do this and that. And we're really just kind of letting our minds get rewired into a little bit more slow and intentional way of living. And no way we could have done that if we hadn't had some options available. Now, like I have said, I do have a little part-time job and it's fine. It's fun. It's close to home, so I can walk or ride my bike up to it. And I enjoy the work. It's much different than what I had been doing for most of my career. And I don't want to say it's mindless. I mean, I do have to think a little bit, but I get to be somewhat more creative in what I'm doing. But I don't have any major responsibilities. Nothing's going to fall apart if I fail to do my job. Not that I want to do that, but it's just a very different pace. I need something to do. I enjoy doing something. It's certainly not for the money. Now, we don't have a set dollar amount for when we can really go without working completely. There are things that we like to do. We have some skill sets that we want to put into action and keep those skills sharp, but that doesn't always mean that it has to be paid work. We can do a lot of things through the volunteer organizations that we're involved with. We're not ones to just sit around at home and do nothing, stare at the screens. That's not really our bag. We would like to be active people and get out and do things, interact with others to a point. I guess being aware of watching out for opportunity costs, working through that mental exercise of if we do this, we'll have to put something else on pause, or just weighing the benefits and options and really helping to sharpen or define our goals better has been very helpful. And being prepared for when the opportunities come up, and new opportunities come up all the time. And there's a lot of factors that go into evaluating those opportunity costs. It's certainly having cash available to make some choices is good. Knowing that we don't have to service debt at all, that has helped us tremendously. And as we sort of take this time to just slow down, and we'll be open to new opportunities that come available that maybe we wouldn't have thought of before. Well, that's kind of my thoughts for today on the topic of opportunity costs. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great day.